So we're here at the federal courthouse in Alexandria, Virginia, where we're wrapping up the second week in Paul Manafort's tax evasion and bank fraud trial. Now, this has been a week where we saw some high drama and even some very salacious allegations come out during the testimony of Manafort's longtime protege, Rick Gates. That happened earlier in the week, where Gates also admitted that he had embezzled hundreds of thousands of dollars from Manafort. And also talked a little bit about, we ventured a little bit into the Trump campaign this week, where witnesses were testifying that a bank executive had actually given Manafort a loan, according to these witnesses, because he expected to possibly get a job in the Trump administration. Now, that job did not actually come through. We actually heard additional detail today on that from witnesses after we had a lengthy delay. This delay was kind of unexpected. We had expected the prosecutors to rest their case today, and they had said that all week that they expected to wrap up today. But this morning, there was an extended recess that occurred where we still have no explanation for what happened. Prosecutors and attorneys for Paul Manafort went up to the bench starting this morning, had a lengthy discussion with the Judge T.S. Ellis III, as well as some bailiffs, and then T.S. Ellis, he recessed the case until later that afternoon. So we really have no way of knowing what occurred in these bench conferences until they come out in the transcript, usually after the trial. The judge, they play white noise in the courtroom so you can't hear, and then the judge usually will explain what happens during a bench conference, just generally, but today he didn't do that. The only indication that we have of the topic was that after the judge recessed the case, he actually left the courtroom. Instead of going to his chambers, he went towards the jury room. He also made several statements today to the jury, reminding them not to discuss the case, possibly suggesting that there had been maybe a violation or two by some of the jurors. That's really the only insight that we have into why the trial was delayed for several hours today. What we do know is that the government will resume its case next week on Monday with one and possibly two witnesses, and then it will be the defense's turn to present their case, if they do, here in this trial here in Alexandria, Virginia.
How's it going?
I would expect the case to wrap up next week, but we don't know definitely when that will occur. In any trial, the defense is not expected, and they don't have to tell you what they're going to do with their case until the government rests. So we'll find out Monday whether or not they're going to call witnesses, but we could see closing arguments as early as Tuesday in the case.